Yes, it's a great honour. I mean, it's amazing, really, considering how long ago we made these films. And it's lasted so long. I mean, people still remember them. That's the amazing thing to me.
You've got Bagpuss there in your very own hands. What do you think makes him such a timeless and beloved children's figure?
Well, Emily's here with me tonight, who's the little girl. She's down there, and she has an opinion about this. She said Bagpuss was in his shop with Emily and the toys, and no adults there. So, it was a cosy place to be, and children loved to go to that programme because they felt comfortable there. And I've heard children say that too, or grown-ups who were children there say that was where they used to find their, comfort in that programme.
Of course, tonight's about looking to the future and celebrating the very best of the current children's programming. Are there any shows around today that you really admire or glad to see win tonight?
I was glad that the Junior Cooking programme, Junior Bake Off won, because that's one of the programmes I think is fantastic. And of course, I'm working with Factory who are doing the new clangers, and I was rather sad that Shaun the Sheep didn't win, because that's one of my favourites. In fact, but as I'm a great-grandfather now, I don't really watch many children's programmes.
It's lovely to see the clangers back. I guess the question Bagpuss fans will have is, are we ever going to see Bagpuss back?
No, never. He's not going to be remade. It's definite. Oliver said that before he died. He used to say nobody can make it again, because it has its own sort of quality, and it'd be very difficult to look at things that were remade in those days, from those days, because they had a particular sort of character. So I think it's no.
For you personally, is there a particular episode, a particular piece of work you've done that you're most proud of?
Well, I always liked the saga of Noggin the Nog, because it was sort of based on the Lewis chessmen, and I remember seeing them in the British Museum and thinking they had a story to tell. I tried to tell the story first, but without much success. But Oliver then went on and told the story and was really, really brilliant at it. And so I was happy to do the drawing. So I always think that was a good partnership with that particular one, with Oliver's words and my pictures. And I think it worked very well.
Just you've been working on the new clangers. When are we going to get to see that? What can we expect from that?
I think the official date of first production, what's the word?
First release, first airing.
I think the first clangers are going to be aired on BBC in June next year, and in America too, on an American channel, and then I think later on they're going to be shown in Australia.
Do you know what? I think we're still in shock now. It won't settle in for another probably a couple of weeks, because once you've won one, you never expect to win another one in the same category, especially 10 years later, because we're older now, we've done a lot more things, but I just don't think we ever expected to be in this position again.
I mean, obviously directing, filming and interviewing at the same time.
And doing sound. You are multi-skilled to the max.
That's four people's jobs.
I'm useless at everything.
You see, we joined television 18 years ago,
there
right?
would be like 8 people doing what you're doing.
8 people behind you.
All doing a very important job.
You're holding the mic.
Hey, you're wobbling this about.
Asking us.
Are talking to us like Michael Parkinson. And project. You have to edit it as well. Yeah.
How TV's changed.
Getting into the industry is one thing, but staying at the top of it the way you have is a completely different challenge. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Do you know what? It's weird that you've said that. We heard a quote from Jimmy Tarbuck. Yeah. I mean, younger people might not know. If you're over kind of 25, 30, you might know who he is. And he said, getting into the industry is easy to a certain extent. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work to get there, and I started off as a runner and worked my way up. But staying in the industry is even harder, because people kind of stop being fans of yours. You're not as cool anymore, And we have stuck it out and worked as hard as we can to be here for 18 years, and hopefully another 18 years more, It's not easy.
Shut up.
He enjoyed that answer.
Shut up.
I was very professional, I thought. Oh, I just spat on the lens. Or was it on your nose? Lee English. Do you know why we keep saying that name?
Because you forgot to say it at the one moment that mattered.
Yeah.
During an awards speech.
And nothing that we do now will repair that.
No.
So, no text,
Let's
no
explain.
tweet.
During an awards speech, you have a list of names just in case you win. Now, you always forget one name. 10 years ago, we forgot the series producer's name of Dick and Dom and the Bungler, the most important person on the show. Tonight, we've won this award again and forgotten the most important person for the show we presented, the series producer, Lee English. So we've got to go downstairs in a minute and repair that somehow.
Right, we're going to go back and apologise to him. Did I spit on the lens? Did I spit on you? Did I spit on the lens? Right, see you later. Bafta!
I'm Matthew Ashton. I'm Vice President of Design at LEGO and Executive Producer on the LEGO Movie. It was so important that we got a story that really meant a lot to people and really inspired them and helped them unleash their creativity. And yeah, so we're overjoyed with the movie and the reaction to it.
Do you feel at all guilty for getting Everything Is Awesome stuck in people's head on a constant loop, though?
That wasn't really my responsibility, but I loved that song the first time we heard it when they were developing the animatic and everything for the movie, and they kept wanting to change it, and we kept going back to the original because it was just so good. So, so sorry about that.
Of course, we're getting a second film. How excited should we be about that?
Very excited. I just got back from Sydney yesterday, meeting with the directors and stuff on the next LEGO movie. So I'm afraid I'm not allowed to talk about that at the moment. It's all top secret, but it's going to be really, really good.
Obviously not talking about the plot or anything, but I think, are we getting our directors back? Because I think we weren't at some point, and now I think that things have changed on that front.
Yes, the directors are going to be back in different capacities. We've got 3 new movies coming out. There's a LEGO Ninjago movie, a LEGO Batman movie, and then LEGO Movie 2, and they're involved in all the movies to some capacity, so yes.
I'm assuming Will Arnett will be voicing Lego Batman indefinitely.
Yes, Will Arnett did such a good job, and everybody fell so much in love with him as Batman that we are definitely getting Will Arnett back. So I don't know if he's actually confirmed yet, but we're aiming for that to happen.
And I think obviously we've also heard that there's going to be some more female characters in these new collected films, because I think there was one of the slight criticisms of Lego recently, unfairly, that it maybe didn't aim itself as much at a girl market as it should do.
Yeah, and I think we've really been trying to improve that, and just a character like Wildstyle in the Lego movie, she is just so inspiring, and she's the kind of girl that boys really look up to and think she's a heroine, and girls just admire as well. So I think we've really turned a corner and started creating some female characters that we're super proud of.
In terms of Lego products, what else can we expect coming up? Is there other stuff we should be excited about with Lego at the moment?
Oh, there is so many things on the way. We're working on some new stuff for the new Star Wars movie, and I'm not really allowed to talk about all these things. It's all top secret, but there is a lot of really good stuff on the way.
We can't wait for all of that. Do you have a message to Lego fans watching this all around the world, both big and small Lego fans?
Yep, you are definitely all the specials, and we really hope the Lego movie has inspired you to keep on building forever.
Well, the thing is about Bake Off, it's universal, and it doesn't matter how old you are or what age you are, we all grow up doing baking. And I think that's what the great thing about, no matter if it's the BBC One programme or the CBBC programme, it's to do with the thing that is passionate and you love and that you do with your family. And that's the thing is about the kids that do Junior Bake Off, is they have so much passion and they're incredibly good at it.
Amazing.
They're incredibly good at it.
Amazing.
Yeah. Desperately disappointing as an adult when you watch that happen, I would say.
So I work for CBBC, and I am the exec producer for CBBC. And what I find amazing is that all these children get their chance. They watch the main Bake Off, they see how it works, and then they get their chance to actually do their baking on CBBC, and they bake incredibly. And they were fantastic. They, they were creating things that I could only dream of. So the answer is, there's nothing I would try because I couldn't come close. They're brilliant.
Well, it's always important. It has been. We've been working, I think, at CBBC for a really long time, and because they're just small people. It's nothing to do with anything else. Then you have to entertain, and it's your, why not? Why wouldn't you? It's the most important thing, because eventually they're going to be the ones running the country. So why not do the best to entertain them and educate them?
And if they can bake whilst running the country, that can only be a bonus, can't it?
We've won for Best Comedy, and it feels great to be a Bafta winner.
It's really important to celebrate what we make for children. We cover every subject, comedy to documentaries, and I think they are, they're the most important generation. So I think it's important to celebrate it. Performers like Dick and Dom, they're funny as it is. We made them Diddy even funnier. Really well written scripts and just a great execution. So we're very, very pleased.
Diddy, Dick and Dom were characters originally in Dick and Dom in the Bungalow, which was a show I made with the boys a few years ago. And we felt when that series came to an end, there was more life in those characters. So we went to the then controller, presented it to him on an iPad, which he found very impressive because they'd only just come out. And he let us make the show. So, as Annette said, with great writers and a brilliant ensemble cast, it came together, the stars aligned for us.
And what does the future hold? More Diddy adventures?
Well, we certainly hope so. That all depends on the bosses, and hopefully they'll allow us to make some more. We'd love to.
It was another thing that we've done for children, and they've shown their appreciation with a lot of fan mail and stuff like that. And the fact we've done 2 series now and a couple of specials, it's just lovely working a show for kids and having it appreciated by them and them getting a Bafta for it as well. It's great. The episode that they were showing tonight, or bit of, was written by Russell T Davies, and it was the Christmas episode last year. I don't know if you saw it, but it was definitely 2 or 3 hankies, that one. And we got a lot of mail from Mumsnet. Dominic, my producer, produced this list of Mumsnet quotes saying I had to go in the kitchen and pretend to be washing up and this sort of stuff, And there was a beauty that actually said, Bernard, you... No, it was... We had another letter from a nursery school, and this I did appreciate, and the lady sent a picture of the children as well, all sitting on cushions looking at the screen, not for that particular episode, and they were completely absorbed in what was going on. And she said in her letter, you would not believe how calm the children are, which was a great compliment, I think. They weren't rushing around and shouting and screaming, but they were just looking at me and the dog, It's probably the first impression they get of literature and various other things like that it's not their mum reading them bedtime stories, It's like a child going to see a pantomime for the first time. That's their first experience of theatre. And we did a CBeebies concert a couple of months ago, and that's their first experience of being in a concert hall with an orchestra. They'll never forget that. Never.
Amazing. I'm still in shock, to be honest. It's such an amazing feeling, and thank you to Bafta. We are very delighted to have been awarded this. Yeah. It's a short film basically about a little girl with Asperger's, and I think the main thing we tried to get through was kind of coming from the point of view of a girl who has difficulties and how difficult it must be and how a child must struggle and being lonely and not having any friends, and a lot of kids can identify with that. And I think understanding that all you need is a bit of a tolerance and a bit of patience.
And she was never the object of pity.
Exactly, yeah. And our films are always about celebrating difference, and I hope that's what we did.
I think we were very, very conscious of making Sam the protagonist in the piece, the sort of hero of the piece. And I think kids have really, any feedback has been like she's been very cool, and they've, really thought they'd like to have a friend like that. So I think that's been our USP.
I think it's a huge tool. I think particularly, entertainment is a great medium for children to learn. I think visually it's fantastic as a way for them to see and to feel and be a part of it. And I think there's some great stuff happening at the moment, particularly with interactive and dramas, and kids' dramas are amazing right now. And I think, it's great. Up until even 20 years ago, no one really knew what Asperger's was. Particularly with girls, there's very few. It's mainly boys that have Asperger's and autism. So there was just very little understanding about it. People, at one point thought it was to do with MRI jabs or whatever it's called. So no one really knew that much about it. So I think slowly we're learning more, and hopefully our film created a bit more of an awareness about it, and we can continue to learn. We've done a couple of films for young children, which we love. I think it's a very important audience, but we'd like to do something with older children. I think teenagers we were talking about. There's a lot of issues out there that I think aren't necessarily being raised that we would like to explore further. It's hugely important. I think, particularly as I work mainly in the adult world in comedy, a lot of people, particularly writers, when they talk about working, in children's TV, they kind of go, oh, well, I write children's shows. And it's interesting because, particularly it's a very difficult world to write for children. They've already got this amazing imagination. To be an adult writing and trying to, beat that and create these amazing shows that will captivate children, it's very difficult. And I think sometimes they don't feel that they're, just because they're not writing adult shows, that it's not as difficult. And actually, I think sometimes it's a lot harder, and that this is a great praise for them.
I think it's particularly nice because the competition was very stiff, and because behind Operation Ouch are a huge number of kids. I should be talking to you, shouldn't I? A huge number of kids who aren't very well, a huge number of medical professionals working very hard to squeeze in filming and us into their busy days and professional lives. So I think it's a nice BAFTA for them.
And an amazing company, Maverick, who make it, who have to fight quite hard to get some really crazy stuff on children's BBC. We talk about the mesentery, we talk about all kinds of medical stuff. It's a higher level of medical terminology you'll get on children's BBC than you will on BBC One. It's amazing.
You just said mesentery. You keep saying it in all your
I
interviews.
love the idea
Mesentery,
of the
fibroblast. So we also do grown-up programming on BBC Two, BBC One, and we have more science in Operation Ouch than we do in Horizon or on the stuff I do on BBC One. At least as much. I'm going to get in trouble now. Sorry, Horizon.
How proud are you to be the first BAFTA winners in history to give an update on the state of a verruca in your acceptance speech?
Well, I should answer this. You're not proud of it. You didn't get to do it. It's my verruca,
I'm
and I get
disgusted by it. I was horrified to have to do it.
I've been asked to keep my shoes on.
It's the public's right to know. He has to wear a rubber sock. Even at the BAFTAs, he's got his little rubber socks on.
I think it's really... If you've got a verruca, don't be embarrassed by having a verruca. Everyone gets them, including people who win BAFTAs.
I think it's disgusting.
And you finally got to genuinely thank your mum this time.
Oh yeah, that was very embarrassing because we thought we'd get away with it, and we meant to thank her, and we're grateful to her, and so we thought, oh well, we'll say we said thank you, and then we did. Anyway, hopefully this year she is watching.
Sorry, Mum.
She was very angry. No, she wasn't.
It's absolutely fantastic, and this is our third time. So we were going for the hat trick, and we got the hat trick, which is pretty awesome. We're really, really delighted.
I think it's really important in terms of raising the profile and the fact that what goes into a children's programme is no different to what goes into any other programme, that it's really tough and you have to be really dedicated and passionate and really believe in what you're doing, and it's a way of really acknowledging that.
Well, I think I'd have to say for me, Hank Zipser, which is the comedy drama with Henry Winkler as Mr. Rock. That was such a joy to put together, and I love it to bits.
So I'm a mother of triplets, and I never ever say who my favourite triplet is. So I have a number of shows that I'm very proud of. Leonardo, Dixie, Dinah Paws, Treasure Island. All our shows are like babies to me, really, so I can't choose between them.
We've also got a show called Jamila and Aladdin that's been commissioned by CBeebies and CBBC for 6 to 9-year-olds. It's a reworking of the Aladdin story with a modern-day British Muslim girl at the centre of the story, Jamila. She finds the lamp in her attic, and when she makes a wish, the genie appears and takes her back to ancient Baghdad. So it's a wonderful show full of action, adventure, magic, and a really contemporary sensibility. It's very exciting.
It is amazing. It's just a fantastic feeling. We've all worked a long time in telly. I've done 25 years in telly, and to have won this is absolutely wonderful.
Especially for this show as well. We all love this show so much, and we're so pleased that it's for Bernard as well. It's a very, very nice tribute to his talents to win it on this, so we're very, very happy.
What's his magic as a performer? What does he bring to a production like this?
Well, as an actor, he brings obviously a lot of experience and technique. He preps very well. He reads his scripts. He's involved in the production. He cares deeply about script, and if he wants to make changes, he asks. And he's very, very involved. And then when he's performing, as I'm sure will tell you himself, he engages one child in the camera, and he speaks to that camera as if he's speaking to one child. And he's been doing that all his career, and it makes him a wonderful storyteller.
After a couple of series and some very specials, we're hoping we're maybe going to get more. Is that the case? Are we going to see any more?
I don't know. Are we, Tony?
We're hoping so. We're working on some new ideas to branch out from the old Jack's format as it is, some new ideas hopefully on the table. Just got to get them commissioned, that's all.